I went outside, and bro, when I went outside, all hell broke loose. Like, it was always like I was dealing with stuff by myself. I'm honestly proud and grateful to have started from the bottom to the top.
Hey guys, welcome to the third episode on the Stories of a Dandelion podcast. Today we have our first guest. He is a longtime friend. We grew up together, we went to high school together, and after high school we went two completely different ways. He decided to go after his passions, and I decided to go to college. Today, he shares his story about his childhood to his teenage years to his young adulthood and currently walking into actual adulthood. We get very deep, so deep in places that I never thought me and PJ would ever go, but it's so amazing to see how vulnerable he was willing to be and how vulnerable he was willing to be to share his story with the world. And I truly believe that you will get something from his story, and I'm hoping that it helps so many other military brats out there. So PJ, thank you for sharing your story, and I am so excited for what's to come in your life through the music industry. You guys, stay tuned, stay right there, sit in your seat, get some tea, and let's get into today's podcast. A quick advisory. Today we talk about suicide, and it may trigger some people. I have linked resources down below. If you are having any thoughts of suicide, please go and get help. And know that you are not alone. These episodes are intended for mature audiences. Viewer and listener discretion advised. Okay. So, PJ, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. What's up?
Me and PJ have been friends for, I don't know. It's been I don't remember when I met you. Do you remember?
So I know, like, technically, kinda, I'm a year. So I probably met you then in 11th grade. Well, it was my 11th grade, kinda. And I'm doing that because, I did.
But we met before then, because didn't you leave Shape and come back?
I did, yeah. But I was in 9th grade at that moment, so you was what?
Yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was in middle school. I remember, yeah. I thought so. I was like, I was in middle school, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, damn. So, yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a long time. What is that? Over a decade.
Man, we get old.
For real. I'm seeing, like, I have clients that come in that are, like, 18, and I'm just like, man, these young, annoying kids, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, like, it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but it is that long ago. So,
exactly. Like, it's been almost 10 years since we graduated high school, but
yeah,
it just feels weird because in that 10 years, like, the way the world is looked at now, completely different.
A lot of different changes. COVID was crazy as well. So, yeah.
All right, let's get into it. First question for you. If you're 18 years old right now, graduating from high school, what would your advice be for yourself?
So you should have gave me these, like, questions in advance so I could, like, really, like, think these through and have, like,
I want you on the spot. Nope, I want you on the spot.
Straight. If I was 18, or if I could go back and give myself advice, I probably would have just told myself to start business faster. But then again, it's hindsight. The hindsight is what, 50-50? It's like, you just, I already know what I should have did. In that process, I didn't know. But I think now that I know, obviously, I'm like, yo, you should have started a studio back in the day. But if I didn't know, and I just wanted to give advice, I didn't know what my direction was, like, where I was going to head in life, I would have said that I should have kept meeting new people, because don't get me wrong, like, my friends that I have now,
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know any friends, right? Like, and I came back to Atlanta, and I just had to go through my life. I had like 2 friends that because I went from Shape to Atlanta, then back to Shape, then to Atlanta. So I did 1 year, so I had like a couple friends that I was cool with, but they were like partiers, you know what I mean? They're like, you know, like all we did was party, dance like we always partied. So I mean, that's fun. That was great. But if I would have had other friends, then I probably would have been able to be who I am earlier, because it wasn't all I knew was partying, because that's all they did. But if I knew I wish I knew like business people. I wish I knew lawyers and this and that. Like, I wish I made my network, because at the end of the day, like, everything in life is really about like who you know. And,
Exactly.
And the good thing about being in Shake though is like you see so many different cultures, so you're able to like understand who you are a little easier.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I knew who I was. I knew what my personality was. I knew how to talk to other people. But because you only had one group of, you know, partiers, you don't really figure out like what's your direction in life. So that's probably what I would say.
Yeah, I can understand.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm about to switch it on you.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, we did party a lot in high school. It was a ridiculous amount, but then at the same time, like, there was nothing else for us to do. I mean, we couldn't, like, even though we were overseas and traveling was an option, we didn't have the money. And if we did have a job, it was to
the commissary, the PX,
commissary, movie theater, PX, like.
Hey,
it was the
real me like the come up was working at Burger King. When I worked at Burger King, I felt like I made it, but I got like 10 euros an hour. I was like,
oh yes, everybody worked at Burger King at that time.
Facts.
Everybody went to work. I was like, I'm not doing it. I've been I stayed my behind on post. I was like, I did a movie theater, and I was bartending.
Yeah, at the Pizza Bowl.
Yeah, the Pizza Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. You're right. Like, you know, but at the same time, I agree with you. But it was kind of like we went through our party phase earlier than typical people. You know, it was legal for us to do. We went out. We didn't do stupid stuff because, like, we didn't have a driver's license. We couldn't drink and drive. You know, so we went through that phase a lot earlier than other people, which got us to where we are today, like how you are with your company right now, where I am with starting this podcast and everything. But I think like the negative, a part of it was we would use that partying to like run away from whatever like emotional issues we had at the time. You know what I mean? Like, we all went through our mental health stuff, but like partying was a way to be like, who cares? Like, let's party it up. Nobody has to talk about their problems, and we can just be drunk every weekend. You know what I mean?
Those are fun times. And, you know, that was a great point, because I never really... I still talk to Ty all the time. And we're not even on that wave. Like, we're not partying like that no more. And that was a great point you say that, because we kind of got it out of our system. Like, everybody goes through a different stage in life, and yeah, like, I still see people like who are our age, and they like go to the parties like all day, every day, and I'm like, shoot, I'm actually trying to get the bag. Like, I'm not trying to. Like, I'll party maybe every now and then, but I'm trying to get the bag. Like, that's my focus. So now that and I liked when we used to party, because we were all like a family, you know what I mean? Because we didn't have a big school, you know, it was just us. So we we had to watch out for the Moroccans. So we were always
my guy
together. Yeah, man, yeah. I'm about to bring that up. I got jumped, man. These Moroccans whooped my butt, bro. I went back to work and I had like this huge knot on my head, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" I'm like, "Man."
I was just like, what happened? I still don't really know what happened that night, man. Like,
I think that was graduated. You know, everybody was graduating, so we all went out. Everybody went out, and all I remember was like we drinking, we taking shots. I think I was with Raquel. Yeah, I was with Raquel, and we're taking shots, and it was, you know, it was a fun time. We was enjoying our lives. So I thought Raquel went upstairs because I see like a girl and I see her like run upstairs because there were at one of the bars, there was like an upstairs area, as I see her run upstairs, and I'm like, oh, what the heck's going on? And then I saw this dude run up after her. So I was like, oh hell no. You know what I mean? So I went up there, and the door was locked, like the bathroom like stall that the girl was in there, but it was this, you know, big Moroccan dude who was like banging on the door, and he's like, hey, open up. And then she's like, no, leave me alone, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so pretty much I was like, hey, man, you know, I wasn't even, you know me, I'm not like a confrontational dude. Like I'm real chill. Like I'm more of a pacifist versus anything else. So I just came and I was living my best life. So I'm not here worried about fighting right now. I'm a little bit like, yeah. So anyways, I was talking to him. I was like, hey man, you know, just let her go. Like it seems like she don't want to talk to you. So, but he couldn't really understand what I was saying because he spoke more French or whatever. So I was like, okay, he's not understanding what I'm saying. So let me go get these two other dudes who I think it was Jeremy and Marcus, I think. I don't remember who exactly they were. I think it was Jeremy. But anyways, I brought him in and I was like, yo, can you communicate that you know, like to leave him alone? And he thought from that I was trying to jump him. And I'm like, dude, I'm not coming to you like in any way. I'm trying to get them to communicate to you to just leave her alone because she obviously doesn't want to hang out. So that he was like, oh, you're trying to jump me, blah, 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 blah. I think he was strung out off of drugs. So because Vicky told me that like he takes like cocaine or some stuff like that. So so I think that's probably what happened. But anyways, like he was mad about that. I'm like, yo, I kept telling him like, I don't want to fight. Like, we not trying to fight. We're trying to enjoy our lives. Anyways, so he just went like storming downstairs, and Vicky came out and she was like, oh, thank you so much. You know, I appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. And then like in like 2 seconds, like I couldn't find her again. Yeah. I'm like, yo, where the heck did she go? So I went downstairs to make sure because obviously he was probably going to wait outside or something to find her. So I was like, yo, I'm going to make sure that, you know, if it's a Shapian, bro, I'm going to make sure that, you know, she's straight no matter what. So I went outside, and bro, when I went outside, all hell broke loose. Like there was fight, like everybody was going crazy. Like a bottle was thrown, and
somebody get hit with the bottle. I think like I think Taylor got hit in the head with the bottle or something like that. Taylor.
Yeah.
And I'm walking back. Like I'm walking back with Caitlin and Chris. Like from, like something told me like to walk away. It was like, you know, go for a walk and go. I still believe it's God. Like, so I went and I came back and I was like, what the heck happened? Like I see Raquel and Milani. I see you like running away. And I'm like, I see like 50 dudes coming after you. I was like, what?
Dude. So I'm telling you, it was that quick though. Like it was literally like I came to save the day in a nice way. Blink of an eye, I go outside, a war, like a Spartan war, you know. So like I'm looking for the girl because that's all I was like, because I was like, man, he's probably. So I was looking for the girl, and the dude saw me. It was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And he starts walking towards me, right? And I'm like, hey, bruh, I don't want to fight. So I'm backing up. I keep telling him, like, I don't want to fight. Yeah. And then I'm like, but if you keep coming close to me, I'm about to hit you. And so then he came close, and then he swung at me, and I ducked it, and I hit him twice. And I was like, it was just like more like a pow, pow, like, you better back the fuck off or I guess we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
So excuse my language, my bad.
It's crazy enough. We good.
I bet. So yeah, then he was like he backed up, and was like, oh, and he said something like, and I swear, after he said that, bruh, another homie came, like he did like a Moroccan call or something, and they're like, let's beat this dude up. I'm like, dang. So this dude could start. So I'm like, oh shoot. So I'm thinking like I could probably take him 1-on-1, but this guy's coming. All right, bet. So I'm about to fight these two first and probably try to do my thing and then get out of there. And all I heard, like when I was thinking that, Raquel was like right so I'm right here, the dude's right here, and Raquel's like behind. And she's just like, run. And I was like, all right, bet. So I try to hit that 40-yard dash, man. But these boys were so fast, man. Like, I swear I was running as fast as I can, and I felt like they was like in front of me just watching me like, yo, you know we gonna catch you, right? I was like, dang. So, and as I'm running, I see everybody else like seeing that and chasing after me too. Like I'm running, then the next part, there's like 2 people chasing after me, and the next part, I'm like, bro, what happened? So yeah, I pretty much tried to fight. And but it was like I was just surrounded by like 10 people. So I was like, if I went for one person, another person hit me in the head. I remember like I fell, it's someone kneed me, and that's the thing that gave me a big but and I really didn't have. I think Pascal said that he was, people were trying to help, but like, there was way too many people versus where we are, and everybody else was already in fights. So the one thing that really saved me was Dino. Do you remember Dino?
Yeah, he's like my
he was big brother, man, big brother, big bad boy. That was, he would bowl at the pizza bowl. He just so happened to be there, and when he came through, he was just grabbing people and throwing them like, yo, you better get out of my way. And he came through to save the day. Like he just picked me up, and then nobody wanted to mess with him after that. And yeah, you saved my life, bro. So and then
our graduation night was ridiculous. Like I tell you one thing we learned from that: don't stay out after 2. Like I remember after that we never stayed out after 2 ever again.
Oh, for sure, like that, and it was like really unnecessary. I'm telling you, I did not try to fight one step of the moment.
Oh yeah, I know. We were just celebrating back then. Like we were just having our graduation
good vibes. Yeah, we never were like the type to get drunk and be like aggressive or something. We're all just happy, dance, enjoying life. But yeah, those were the party days though. It's still fun times though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like I said, we went through them. We had our time. We had fun. But then we graduated. So first, tell me about like your childhood before you came to Shape, and then like while you're at Shape, and then like how you came to become who you are now.
Yeah. So my mom's in the military, obviously. Air Force. So we traveled all over, just like every other military brat. I was born in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, Ramstein. And then we moved from there to Florida, then to DC, then to New Mexico, and then to Belgium. So I would say like middle school was at that time was like my favorite part. That was the longest I was there. It was like 5 years, and 5 years in military years is like a long time. Like if I'm there 5 years, like shoot, that's a lot. So I remember doing all middle school then, and I was so excited, bro, because I was like, man, I grew up with these people, like, and we about to run high school, like we just about to do our thing. I know, we all gonna do sports together. We was gonna stick together. And then I remember in the summertime, my mom just came to me one day and was like, so South Dakota or Belgium? I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, we're about to move. And I'm like, what do you mean we're about to move? Like, I was like, yeah, it's either that or I go to war. And obviously she wasn't going to war.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like, what's there to do in South Dakota? Like, because the thing is with my mom,
a lot of white people.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. And I knew it was cold. That's the one thing I knew. Like, I was looking like the weather real quick. And I'm like, dang, it gets that cold. Like, you go from New Mexico, which is super hot,
Yeah.
to that. I'm like, those are the two extremes. I'm not trying to, I can't do the cold. And then I remember like, I don't want to, I was young. So I was like, I don't want to do South Dakota, but I definitely don't want to go to China. Cause I thought that Belgium was China, man. I'm like, I'm not going to China. Like, and she's like, what are you talking about, you idiot? That's Europe. I'm like, I was just looking so stupid. It's Beijing, man. That's not Belgium. I'm thinking Belgium is China, man. So I was like, yeah, I ain't going. But then when she told me it was Europe, obviously I still didn't want to go. I was just selfish at that time. But you know, we ended up going. But I do remember like in that time frame is when I was really not in a good mental space. Just because it just felt like, you know, you're nobody.
Yep.
Nobody knows you. You don't belong to nowhere. Then over the years, you finally find a place that like a home, you know, a group of people, passions, you know, the environment. You finally find a home. And then as soon as you get a home, you got to move to another and start it all over again. So I remember in freshman year, like I was just like, I don't want like to deal with anything. I don't want the Belgian culture. I don't want to meet friends. I don't want anything. Like, I hate this. I hate my mom at that time. Like, just not really hate, but like, I just hate the fact that we got to go here, go here, go here. I just hate the lifestyle. And I was pretty down on myself. And then I met cool people. You know, I met you, I met Jason, I met Rob, I met Josh. And like, then I was like, wow, you know, I actually like this place. This is cool.
Yeah.
And bruh, then they all moved that year. They all moved that year, bruh.
Yeah.
And it's like, I finally got a home again. Bye. And I was like, that was like the last straw. I was just like, yo, I can't keep doing this. I hate it. So I went to Belgium. I went to Atlanta with my grandma. Did a year of that. But I miss my mom. I miss my brother. Like, no matter what, no matter where you want to go, that's your real home. Like, even if, you know, in the military, you go from here to here to here, but you got to understand that your real home is your family. You know, no matter where you go in life, you're stuck with them. So I came back and we had a good time.
Yeah.
But, and I would say dealing with, like, I think everybody who deals with, like, mental, you know, like, stuff like that, you have to release your energy somehow. So, like, me and you, we played sports. So that was...
But you also did it through music.
Yeah. So that's where it really, because I felt like I couldn't express my energy to, like, my mom would just be like, suck it up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so I never could really have a conversation with my mom, and she was always busy with work. So, like, by the time she comes home, she still does this. She comes home from work and she, like, takes off her boots and she just relaxes and just, like, rests for like 2 hours. So during, like, my middle school and high school, I never really had, like, a super tight bond with my mom just because she was always working. So it was always like I was dealing with stuff by myself.
Yeah.
And with, like, high school, you know, especially as a dude, I feel like, but just anybody in general, sometimes I feel like if I express my mental problems, like, people are gonna think I'm soft, and make fun of me. And that's how, like, our friend group, some of my, like, Ty, I already knew, like, if I tell him that, he's just gonna roast me and then tell everybody else and stuff. So I didn't know who to talk to. And I had a bad experience in middle school with a therapist because, like, I guess we're gonna go into deep stuff. Then, I had a therapist, so I was a bad kid in middle school. So then they brought me to a therapist, and I finally opened up to her, and I told her like different stories, but I didn't think nothing of it because she said that she won't tell anybody, right? Like, by law.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her something like, everybody's got their butt whooped, right? And I've got my butt whooped pretty bad. And I told her a story when I got my butt whooped so bad. And she pretty much, I guess it was like a legality thing that if something happens and you bleed, then she has to tell like someone bigger, and then it turned into a big thing.
Yeah.
And I almost, like, from that, I almost got my mom kicked out of it. And it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I got my butt whooped, and I got my butt whooped so bad that it was bleeding. You know what I mean? But it wasn't that crazy. Like, me explaining it might be, but I know it wasn't that crazy. And the story was like, me and my mom will fight, but the next day we'll love each other. Like, that's just how we always did. So even if she whoops my butt, I'm cool. But I told that story, and then from there it got blown way out of proportion. I almost lost my mom's job, and then from there, me and my mom kind of even went more separate than what we already were because, so it was just not good in middle school. So when high school came and I was dealing with all these problems, I didn't know, I couldn't talk to my friends, and I couldn't talk to a therapist because I don't trust a therapist at that moment. So I just found music, and from there, like, I just felt like writing it down and putting it onto a song could actually help me channel some of that energy, and really that's what it did. It got me out of depression, because I was in a depression for a while. I ain't tell nobody, but it was really hard for me. So I found music, and then after that, I started to do it all the time. I started to love it. So that's
why. Yeah, you're doing amazing. And first of all, like, the fact that I didn't know what you were going through when we were in high school was like, it's just a testament to how we can so easily be so guarded and masked around each other because, in some ways I do believe the military has created us to be that way. Our parents are doing the mission, so we have to hide our feelings. And because of that, as we get older, it becomes easier. And so we go to school, act like this person, you were the PJ, personality, and you come home and everything that you're dealing with at home is still there. And so, first of all, sorry that you had to go through that alone. Like, I just want you to know I would have been for you, but I also understand that at the time we were close because you are like my brother. You still are like my brother. Even though we haven't talked in forever, you're always going to be my brother. Right. But at the same time, you knew who my mom was. And I also think, I knew who your mom was. So for us to try to even be there for each other, I don't think we really knew how to do that because mental health wasn't talked about back then. It just happened. You move on, especially, like I said, military, it's honor, duty, and that's what we had to represent as well. And so, like I said, sorry that you had to go through that by yourself. But I'm so happy that you found music to like speak to that, and that music helped you through your depression, and that you're using it now to like help others.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
That's what's up. Oh yeah, I was just saying, and this is why I like your podcast. Just because it's not that you wouldn't want to help. Obviously, you'd want to help, but the thing is, like, nobody knew how to help, and like nobody knew what to do. And I would say, like, for people who are watching this who may be a military brat, who are younger and might be going through a similar problem, because the only thing is also is everybody had their own problems too. Like, I'm telling you my story, but I could only imagine that you had your own story that you was going through. Everybody that's a military brat had their own personal problems that they had to deal with on their self. So I would just say, like, I would try to just push people to have a conversation about this. Like, it may seem weird at first, but I'm telling you, like, because I had music, I was able to do it. But if I didn't have music, it would have just been trapped in my head, and I wouldn't be able to get it all the way out. So, like, no matter what, like, talk to your best friend. Be like, yo, how are you feeling, like, deep down? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Is there anything going on? And really have conversations about that, because some people need to be heard. But yeah.
Yeah, it's it's the whole reason for this podcast, because
That's awesome.
we don't know, and I'm hoping that the next generation that's coming up to be adults can hear this and be like, okay,
Guys.
he's he went through it, I can get through it. She went through it, I can get through it. So thank you for sharing your story, because it's gonna help a lot of people out there when they listen to this podcast or when they watch this podcast. Yeah. So
I could probably say one more thing that's even deeper, and then I'm done. Damn, I've never said this to anybody. Ooh.
Well, I'll hear listen.
All right. So yes, I was going through depression, but I didn't tell you how bad it almost got. So 9th grade, like when I moved, like when all my friends was about to move and stuff, my birthday came up. And wait, no. I think this was before I started school. But I did like 1 month, but obviously I didn't really know anybody. So because my birthday is in September, so you do like, I think you did like a month of school, and then my birthday
came back in August.
Yeah, so I didn't really have no friends to celebrate my birthday at that moment. So it was just like I already left my New Mexico home. So I was in the kitchen, and I really. And we've talked about this with other friends, but I really contemplated like ending it. Like there was this big like kitchen knife, and I was just like, it's like, I was trying to think of like, how am I gonna feel better? So I was like, well, from what I know, some people are in pain, and then they cut themselves, and then they feel good. So I was like, I mean, I could try that. That was a weird thing to think in my head. But anyways, I was like, I could try that. But then I thought to myself, like, yo, if I'm gonna cut myself, I might as well just end it. So I remember, like, it's weird, bro, but I'm playing with the knife and like just having it on my skin, and then I'm like kind of like put it to my heart, and I was really like thinking about, I was crying, and I'm thinking about it like, is this really what I'm going to do? Because I just felt like no one loved me. I just felt like, me and my mom didn't have a good relationship because she's just working, and we never really talked. And my brother, like, he was too young. Like, there's no way I could have a real conversation with him. So I just felt like I have nobody that cares for me. So I almost motherfucking did it. And the door rang, and it was my mom with a birthday cake.
Wow.
I was like, happy birthday, I love you, blah blah blah, and I fucking like hugged her so hard. She doesn't know this, but I put it away, and actually we used the knife to fucking cut the cake. So cut the cake, I hugged her, went upstairs, and I told myself, like, I can never have that thought again. No matter what, I gotta communicate it to somebody. And you can't end your life, because there are people that, like, even though you don't think it, there's people out there that do love you, and if you do that, you're gonna make their life miserable too. So anyways, long story short, I'm here now, we're alive, we're kicking it, and we're doing this podcast. So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that story. And I know, like, with this podcast, it may seem like I don't want anybody to think that we're like ragging on our parents or anything, because we're not. It's just this situation of being a military brat that our parents do have to focus on the mission, because the mission is to, fight for America, to make sure the soldiers that are downrange have everything they need so that the mission can get done. And sometimes home life can take a step back because of the major fact of their job. So we love our parents. We appreciate our parents. We are so happy and grateful that they did serve and that we got the opportunity to have the life we did. But at the same time, we do know that there are repercussions for the life that we lived. And we, suffered mentally sometimes, and that's okay. We have to share that. We have to talk about it. But I don't want anybody thinking, we're ragging on our parents or anything like that, because they're amazing people. They love us. And nobody really, especially if you're the first of your generation to go in the military, nobody knows how to raise a child in the military. It's not this spoken thing or written down. Everybody's household was different. So the fact that your mom...
They did it by themselves. So.
Exactly, yeah. Both of our moms are
seniors. That alone, raising kids by yourself, that's hard. So plus being in the military with all the, they had, we had a lot, but they had a lot. They had a ton that they had to do. So you never can blame your parents. Never. You know what I mean? You gotta look into yourself. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just a situation. That's all it was. But I'm so happy she came in with that cake. And
I'm alive. Yeah. And now me and my mom, we're really close. We have a great relationship. And I do know that she has anger issues, but that's everybody. My mom, Ty's mom, they both have anger issues. So we know when to step in, when to not. But me and my mom, we talk all the time. We hang out. We're probably gonna hang out 4th of July. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
That is awesome, yeah. So you go through all that, high school, you graduate with good old me. And now it's time to start your life. And you go the unconventional route, because we know there's a lot of unconventional routes. But back then, when we graduated, which I feel like me saying back then, it's forever ago, but it's almost 10 years ago. But for us to do what we're doing even now, that wasn't heard of. You were going to college, getting a 9-to-5, or going in the military and doing what you got to do. But you decided to go straight after your dreams. And so where were you mentally at that time? What made you have to do it? What pushed you to go through it, and what's continuing to, push you along as you are creating this amazing production company that you have? Hey guys, I just wanted to take a quick break and say thank you for listening to the Stories of a Dandelion podcast. If you like this message that I am trying to share, please go ahead and follow the podcast, as well as share it with all your family and friends. Thank you again, and let's get back to the podcast.
That's love. Man, you just made me feel a little warm in my heart.
I got there a little bit to my brother, you know what I mean?
Facts, ma'am. But yeah, so 19, I was working at Burger King, having a good time, stacking up money. But I knew I wanted to go back to America. I wanted to take care of my grandma. And I thought that, I do music, so Atlanta is a big place to do music.
Yeah.
So I thought that, but I did think about, should I go to college? Should I go to the military? What should I do? But I think ever since junior year, senior year, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So it was I knew that music got me out of a bad place, and I want to continue this, and hopefully I can motivate other people to get, if they're in a bad place, to help them out as well. So I always knew that music was my thing. It was just about how am I gonna get, turn it into something. So I moved, I saved up some money, and I moved to Atlanta, and I just found any job that I could at that point. So I had 2 jobs. I was a Starbucks barista.
I remember that.
Yeah, you did comment on my Instagram and stuff like that. So I was a Starbucks barista for a while, and then after that I went to Kroger, and I was pretty much going through job after job. I did a mechanic job, and turns out like I have no mechanical skills whatsoever, bro. Like just doing the oil change was difficult. I remember when I knew that it wasn't for me. Like I did an oil change, and I forgot to put like the oil cap on. So like oil was just, so I parked the car and waiting for them to come pick it up, and oil was just all out. And I was like, oh shoot. And I hurried up and put it back in, and I did it. And I'm like, my head was just like what's on fire, bro. I'm just so stressed out. And it's like, really, it was just an oil change. Like it was an oil change. It just had stuff coming in, but I had no mechanical skills. So that whole time was trying to figure out like, where's my journey? Where's my journey? So I knew I was still doing music, but yeah, obviously it wasn't making any money. So I was just still trying to figure out where I was, and then I got into a sales job, and I was actually pretty good at that. I was a car salesman, making good money, but I was working for a janky company, man. Like they was just cheap, and then the cars that they were selling, like they would like barely fix it up, like and fix it up a ghetto way, like put the bumper and put zip ties on it and. So, and I didn't know, because I'm just selling the car. I don't know what's under the car.
Yeah.
So there was like a whole bunch of repercussions just from selling cars at that dealership. They got lawsuit and all types of stuff. But I remember like thinking like, I was selling cars and like, but I'm barely getting any money. Like, I mean, I might make a commission or whatever, but I started to realize how much they make. Like how much the dealership makes. They make thousands of dollars and I'm getting hundreds of dollars. I was like, nah, something's wrong here. So I started, man, I was living check to check for a long time. So I started a little dealership. I rented out, I had like this cubicle. It was so small, bro. I'm telling you, like if you extended your arms, you could probably touch the whole walls. But I had a little desk and I was proud of that. And I had so I got my dealership license and I bought a van. And yeah, I bought a van with all my money. Like I spent all my money. And if it was in the dealership, that van would have sold like this. But I didn't know the marketing part about everything. So it's like, you might have a good product, but the thing, and that's what any business, you have a good product, but it doesn't matter. It's about marketing. Yeah. So like I made good music, but I had bad marketing. I had a nice car, but I had bad marketing. So man, that car was in my house for like 3 years, man. I didn't sell jack. I got, oh man, it was so bad. I got evicted from that office. So I just, that didn't work. And this was another mental fortitude thing that I had to go through. But so yeah, I lost. So I quit that job. I was trying to find a job. And then I got evicted from that. Around that time, I broke up with my girlfriend. She was childish, which just says a lot for me because I'm pretty childish. So that, and I had a person who I did music with. He was my videographer at the time. And he was pretty much like we just fell off. He was like, you're not taking this seriously. And I'm like, bruh, I got a website. I got flyers. I go to events every single week. I make a song every single week. Like, I'm pushing it. Some of my songs have got hundreds of thousands of views and stuff like that. So I'm taking it seriously, bro. But he didn't see it that way. So we split up. And all that happened in like 1 month. And then I had to find a place to stay. Bills coming in. So I remember like that part. Like what it was the last straw. So I'm driving home to my crib and I got a call. Like, so all this happened and I'm like so sad right now. And it all happened pretty much like in a month, but really like a day. And then I got a call and it was like a bill collector. And I didn't know because it had like the area code, like a regular area code. So I just picked it up and he was like, can you make a payment And I was like, I don't know why I talked to him. I should have just hung up. But I was just so sad at that point. I was like, nah, I can't make a payment. I'm sorry. And I just hung up and I parked on the side of the road and I just like cried. Everything, the weight of the world was just on my head. And I was like, I cried. And, but after I cried, like there was like a light flash in my head. And I was just like, you know, no matter how bad you feel, you're going to find a way. Like, I've been through this in high school, you know, it was sad, but somehow I found a way. It's the same thing now. Something's bad's going to happen and you got to find a way. And I was like, man, I'm like making all this music. Like, I could probably just start a studio and charge people, because I know other people, I know a whole bunch of other rappers. Like, maybe I can give that a shot. And that's when I started the studio in 2018, 19. And from there, I'm here. That's what I do full time now.
Nice.
It's been a whole bunch of up and downs.
Of course. I mean, whenever you're going after your dreams, like, it's not a straight line as much as people like to think it is. Like, it's much about the downs as it is all the successes that you had.
Yeah. My mom always was like, go to college, go to the military. But I knew that school, I could barely get through high school. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that college was not going to be something that I wanted to do. I always told myself, like, I really don't even like having a boss. Like, even my other jobs, like, if they tell me something to do, they say it in a nice way. And for some reason, like, in my head, I'm already mad. I don't tell them, but I'm like, I just knew I didn't want to have a boss for the rest of my life. But two, military, I wanted to do the music stuff, so I didn't want to move around all over the world. So yeah, I picked business life, and I guess it's worked so far.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I don't really like having a boss it's a lot. And I know exactly how you feel. I think it was like different when we were in high school for some reason, I guess, because like it wasn't as serious. But now that it's like a little bit more serious, it's like, I don't really, I know I have to do it, but
yeah. And I also knew that, but not having a boss, one, but two, like, if I don't get a college degree, I'm probably not gonna make a lot of money. Like, that was my mindset. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, in the long run, like, it paid off for you, because I mean, there's plenty of people in this world that never went to college, don't have that debt, and they're doing great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to college. I went and got my master's, like, but
hey,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God though for the military. This is the part where the military came clutch, because that
GI Bill
classes, those classes were cheap. Okay, so I could pay masters out of my pocket, but I still got my bachelor's degree to pay off of, and you can only do so much when you have all of that debt to pay off before you can really start your life. So I mean, I commend you on just going after your dreams, because me back then, I was looking at you like you were crazy, because I ain't know no different back then, because it was like, well, it's either half of our friends went into Jared and Ty went into the military, and the rest of us went to college. So like, when you were the only one to like kind of do something different, it was like, nah, like
yeah, yeah. Honestly, bro, Ty told me, he's like, I didn't believe in you, and I don't think anybody believed in you, like, that you were gonna, just because that wasn't conventional, like, that's but yeah, like, honestly, bro, like, really, like, with business or with anything in life, it's really, you have to believe in yourself, because when you first say a dream, nobody sees the dream, because it's your dream. They have to see it, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. So you just, like, really, with anything, you just believe in yourself as much and keep going. And, like, I'm telling you this, like, my stories and how like, ups and downs, but everybody's gonna go through ups and downs. Even now, like, I'm doing good right now, and I'm, like, I feel like I'm where I need to be. But there's gonna be another down coming up. And it's not about you going through like you avoiding problems, because the problem's gonna come no matter what. It's about how you deal with those problems and how fast you can get over those problems, pick yourself up and keep it going, keep it going. So now, like, bruh, I just feel like something's gonna happen and I'm ready for it. Like, I'm about to tackle, I'm about to hit her with a stiff arm and I'm gonna just keep going. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I'm really motivated, and I'm positive. I'm in a good headspace.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome because, yeah, like Ty said, like I didn't really believe in it either, but I mean, the Bible says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, all of what God has put into you. You know what I'm saying? And so you're truly making it come to pass, and I'm proud of you because you didn't allow us to talk you out of your dream. Because there were times that we did try to be like, oh, are you sure, dude? Like, is this...
Hey, y'all just looking out.
You know, you love music and it's a good side hustle, but you never let us talk you out of your dream. And that was like, that's inspirational, because it was inspiration for me, inspiration for others around you. As much as you may not know that, you are an inspiration to like your friends and your family, because you are doing what you truly love and what you truly feel like you were put on this earth to do. And it's amazing to see.
Thanks.
Of course. All right, so tell me, like how many music videos you done made,
Oh, okay.
Especially in the beginnings, like what other things were you doing to help you create, your production company and help you, like, I guess, get to the point you are now.
So just like the whole journey, so I already had like some of the setup, right? So since I was making music, so what I did was, it was so ghetto, and it's still, it was ghetto. So like I went to Walmart and I bought like 2 blankets, right? And those were gonna be like the soundproofing thing. So I just nailed it on a wall, and then that was my first setup. And I remember having my first client. I charged $20 at that time, and so I made $80, and I was so excited. I was like, yo, like I just hit a lick, like, oh, $80, whoa, $20 an hour. I was also nervous and I was at my grandma's house, and thank God she was allowed me to do that, because it is a big risk. There's random people coming in the house, you don't know them, but my grandma she's just so homey. She's just like, open the door, wants to meet the clients. How you doing? Oh, you want some food? Blah blah blah. I'm like, Grandma, you don't have to do all of that. Like, I'll just take.
They might give you a little extra money, man.
Back shit. She had some. But yeah. So I started that, and it wasn't the most professional, but it worked, and people liked it, and I started building up. So from there, then I built, one step at a time. I just kept building stuff, is what I'm gonna say. And now I built a whole, in the garage is where this recording studio is, and I built like a whole room, decorated it, got the floors nice, and everything looks great now. And I've always invested into it to make it go higher and higher and higher. So now I charge more, and I've just been consistent with that. But in that time, I bought a camera because I wanted to promote my my studio. So I bought a camera because I was too cheap to be paying videographers at that time. So I bought a camera, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna I'm gonna make some videos and stuff. And then from there, all the music clients were like, yo, you shoot music videos? And I'm like, I do now. So from there, I started doing the videos, and altogether, bro, I've probably done like from like 2019 when I fully officially put it into LLC to now, probably like 200, 300 music videos. I've shot so many. I've been flown out to Cali. This dude, he's and I work with like so many random people, and that's why the military is good for business, because you just so used to different cultures. When we lived in Shape, like we were in a natal base, like we see Albanians, we see Polish, we see, you know, all types of people. So you know different cultures, you know how to talk to different people. So yeah, that's pretty much allowed me to be good. So I've met so many different people. I got flown. He's like a really flamboyant artist that he's been on, like, what is it? Like the Bad Girls Club and like all these MTV shows and stuff. Like he's actually pretty popular and has so he's flown me out a couple times. I've stayed at his house. I've been all over the world just shooting videos and chasing my dreams and helping other people. And so now I make music, but I also have a passion for helping other people do that. And that's what I do. And I shoot weddings now because one of the clients got married and was like, yo, you do weddings? And I was like, I do now. And then we shot weddings. And then I love weddings. I love shooting weddings. It makes my heart like so soft. Like, man, I just
He's a romantic, ladies. All the ladies out there, he's a romantic.
You stupid. Now I got a girl, man. You gonna get me killed.
Never done. He's taken. Sorry, Lee.
But yeah, so that was my journey, and now I'm at the point. So I went from that to where it was just in my room. I was sleeping on the floor because me and my brother stayed in the room, and so I was like, yo, it's gonna look really weird if there's a bunk bed like in the studio that they're recording. So I'll just sleep on the air mattress and you can get the bed. And it sucked because living with living with somebody else in a super small room, I'm sure you probably did it with college. But yeah, you know, if it doesn't, it's not fun. No. And my brother was always stealing my clothes and stuff, and I was ready to throw hands, bro. He just never wanted to smoke.
Yeah. My boy.
Oh man, but he never wanted to smoke, so that's good. But yeah, so I went from that to now, and you know, I have a full-time employee. He's actually on vacation right now, so I'm over here paying him to go on vacation. I'm just so cheap. I'm just like, like this man's just enjoying his life, and I'm over here paying this man. But I got a full-time. Yeah, exactly. As I should. I want to make him happy. He's actually been with me for like 3 years. So me and him go way back. He loves the company. He loves me. And I'm working on a full-time editor. I had one, but I'll just in a nice way, we had to part ways, but I'm looking for someone a little bit more on point. So that, and yeah, I think that's what I'm working on now. And I'm talking to investors because there's an investor that's looking to give me a good amount of money. He's like, man, I believe in you. I've been a client for so long. You're so professional. Like, I'm getting a lot of money. So he just got like $500,000. So he was like, yo, I'll give you some. And we just partner up. And now, to give a business advice, like if I were to go back in time, I would have found an investor first, because I did start from the bottom to the top, which, you know, can be a great story. And I did learn a lot, but I could probably be so much farther if I would have got with an investor, at least like after 2 years. Now, I've done 4 years in business, but if I would have got an investor a long time ago, I could have went farther. So now I'm looking at investors. But yeah, things is going good. I want to just have it grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And I want to have, the cool feeling is like having an employee is like, man, like I'm helping them pay the bills and for their family and stuff like that. So it makes me feel really good inside. I think that's what I need to keep doing.
Yeah, that's good. And even though like you didn't have an investor back then it would have been completely different, because investors would have wanted more because of your experience. And so what would they do? Yeah, it wouldn't have been your business. It would have been theirs. But now that you have all of this under your belt, this experience, everything you've done, you have a bigger stake in the game. And so he can only take so much, and it's mostly just money. So you have a bigger stake in the game and a bigger stake in the business. So even though you say you wish back then, it wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have came out like it is now, it's your business. It would have been theirs, and I don't think you would have been happy with it, to be honest with you.
You're right. Now I think about it, you're right. I think there's so many good lessons of starting from the bottom, like, with everybody. Like you got a master's degree now, so, but you started from freshman year and you had to go through all of that just to get to where you're at. And I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons. So it's the same with business. And I think that it's just about problem solving.
Yeah.
When you're broke, when you're broke, you don't have because I used to think like, man, like, it's unfair how there's some people who like have a business who are like inherited money, like their family is already upper class and like they're good. And like, so when they give it to their kids, they're good. So they get to start further in life because they already have an abundance of resources. So I used to think like, man, that's unfair. Like, I wish that happened to me. But now I'm honestly proud, and grateful to have started from the bottom to the top, because I've learned so many lessons. Like, because when you're broke, you can't just throw money to solve all your problems, because you don't have money, right? So you have to think creatively on how to solve that. Like, I didn't have money for a studio, so I set it up in my room, and then I didn't have enough money to pay someone to build it, so I built it myself. It's like you learn all this DIY, this creative problem solving, to where like now, like, there's more problems gonna come, but I've built that skill in my head, so I'm gonna figure it out no matter what. So
yeah,
so I love it.
Yeah,
and now you got a business, so now we're both business owners.
A little bit. I'm trying. I'm moving in that direction, mostly because like you love music, and now you want to help others. And it's kind of the same for me. Like, I want to use the time that I have on this earth to help as many people as possible. So, it starts with this podcast, and then it starts with like, yes, I have a YouTube channel that it's like slowly growing, and I'm having fun just making like travel content for people to like want to go and explore the world, because we got an opportunity that not everybody else gets. We got to experience so many different cultures just sitting in a classroom. And exactly. And the way the world's looking now, with how we're being very closed-minded about so many different things, I want travel and culture to be something that's open-minded, because when you explore that, it can so easily open your mind to so many other things that are in this world. So I do that, but I have shifted my focus toward this podcast, because mental health is so important, and it's so important for us as military brats to have these conversations. And so I'm still doing that, but this is my forefront at the moment.
Yeah, I could see 4 or 5 years. One, I think that you should get sponsors, after this one, and, make it look fancy and stuff, and spend maybe like an hour a day, sending it to mental health institutions, and you can get advertising, so, sponsorships, and they'll give you, hey, we'll give you $10,000 for the next video or something.
Yeah.
But even that, I know you love traveling. I love traveling. And that's one major benefit about being a military brat, though. It's like, nobody else, like, I talk to people here, they've never even been outside of the States or their freaking state. I'm like, what? You are so constrained right now. It's crazy. But I can see you doing what you're doing and traveling to different military bases and kind of being a speaker. And then you can still do your vlogs, take them out, blah, blah, blah. But I definitely know that's going to happen.
Okay. I like it, PJ. We're on the same wavelength, because that's
show.
Yeah, that's what I'm moving toward. I'm moving toward being able to go to the military installations and have these conversations with the kids before they graduate. You're a senior. You're about to get a huge culture shock when you get up out of here. because we were never warned about that culture shock. Like we went out in the world, it was like,
Here's life.
for real. Because I know for me, like just like you went through what you went through in high school, for me, I did go through a period of that in high school, my 10th grade year. You know, when Paris and Teresa and all them left, those are like my big sisters, and so felt very alone. You know, me and Lonnie's, our friendship fell apart. You know, my junior year, and I just didn't really know where to turn. You know, me and Rathel were just starting to become friends that year, and Caitlin was busy because Caitlin was always doing something. So I felt really alone that year. And that was the year I got stupid drunk. And so all over downtown, I came home. Jared left me at the door. And my mom was pissed.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
She was so pissed. And like, so I went through that my junior year. But our senior year, you know, turned it around, and then I went to college and, you know, went through that hard time. Like, oh my goodness, just the worst time ever. And now I have a therapist. It took me, I don't know, 10 years, I guess, to get a therapist, even though I should have got one when I first went to college, like every single one of us should really do.
Yeah, definitely.
But I went to therapy, and she was like telling me, she was like, you look at that time as like the most negative time of your life, but you went through all of that and you got through it. So really gotta change your perspective, because you just never know. You know, you get through it. It got me closer to my dad because I moved here, and now I just want to show others.
That's what's up. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. And I would say you had sports though, because you was super fire with basketball, bro. Like everybody knew, like, we need Gina on the team because she just going to score all the points for herself at this point. Like, you be shoot. You was like Steph Curry. Oh, we used to love it, bro. I was so impressed.
I thought all the time.
No, you did, but you pretty much needed to score. Like, no matter what, like you still had them 5 assists, but I just like, we knew you needed to score like 30 points a game and you was going crazy, bruh. So I'm glad you had that, and I'm glad you have a therapist now. And I think that some people think that like having a therapist is like a bad thing. You know what I mean? But it's a great thing. You get stuff off your chest. You have a friend at that point that you could really express it, and I think it's important for sure.
Yeah, especially for us, because like, you know, Black people and Latino people, like,
dealing with
therapy
stuff. The odds are already against you. Them being a military brat, already against you. It's just, there's a whole bunch going on here.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of our coaches just like, we kind of, oh yeah, just smoke, you know, just smoke your problems away. You know, that'll be good. But all of those drugs is just temporary fixes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's the problem with, most military brats end up being like alcoholics or drug addicts. And I was just really doing a lot of research for this podcast, and it was like, you know, military brats are more prone to have mental health problems than our civilian counterparts. And the crazy thing is, like, we don't recognize it. Like, you don't know the resources that you have to get better. And that's the problem. So, yeah, I'm thinking of, like, you know, going to MWR, trying to change the system for, like, kids now, because that's important.
That's why.
You know, I know people at, like, MWR who are at the top and stuff, so I can have this conversation to start making the change. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but I know it'll happen. But back to you.
As long as you consistent. No, I mean, hey, if there's anything that I could assist, you know, even with ideas or whatever, like, feel free to call me. You know what I mean? Because I love stuff like that. I love, like, you pushing for your dream. Like, that just makes me excited. So if you ever need some and I can provide something, like, I got you.
Yeah, thank you. Same here. Okay, but we talked about where I want to be in 4 to 5 years, but where do you want to be? Where is your music career going to be in the next 4 to 5 years?
4 to 5 years. Yeah, 4 to 5 years, I see me having, so right now I'm building like an official storefront, I guess we say, you know? So it's like a official building, multiple employees, have a recording studio and a visual studio. So in 4 or 5 years, I want a storefront in every major city in Georgia. So it's going to happen. So I know that. But so right now it would be like I'm in North Atlanta. So I'll have one there, one in Atlanta, one in Savannah. I love Savannah. And then one in Augusta. So I want those 4 places and to be buying businesses. So because like the startup is good. Like, you know, you go from the bottom, you go for the top. But you can buy businesses and they already are making a certain amount of money and they already do this and they already do that. So I plan on buying businesses, like buying a media company, buying this and kind of just adding it to what I already have and buying wedding venues. Like in 4 years, I want to have at least a couple of wedding venues. But I love, like I said, I love wedding venues so much.
That's smart too. Smart investment.
And my idea is, if I buy a wedding venue, I shoot weddings. My company shoots weddings. So I buy the wedding venue. Now we're booking 200 weddings. But now, not only that, but now my company is shooting the weddings. So I'm making even more money. So currently right now, I'm adding photography, videography, and DJ to a wedding package. And I have this whole different website called weddingwizard.net. But yeah, that is focused on just fully wedding. I want a one-stop shop for weddings. So you come in, photo, video, DJ, boom, come, we got you. So that bundle with having wedding venues, it's up from there. And then honestly,
you can do so much, man. Like you could do even like baby pictures and stuff like that, and you could do like pregnancy pictures.
I just did a pregnancy picture, maternity shoot. I think that's what they call it. And it was
I don't have kids.
Like, she's out here with her big old belly, you know, still looking sexy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, trying for her man, and yeah, I had a great time doing that. So I thought, like, with weddings, some people think, oh, it's just you just shoot a wedding and then they're not gonna get married again. Well, hopefully, right? Yeah, I might get a repeat customer from that, but if they stay together, that's one time. But yeah, you got so many things you do. You got maternity, you got 1-year-old, you got anniversary shoots, you got so many things. So yeah, I have so many ideas, but I tell my girl like all my ideas, and she's like, yo, you got so many ideas, so just focus on these ideas, because I think these ideas will, because I have other like completely different ideas, and she's like, they're good ideas, but just focus on these first. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. So I'm just focused on these. Yeah, and then, you know, eventually I'm sure we'll be getting married too.
Cool. Am I invited?
Huh?
Am I invited?
Of course you're invited. I'm invited. Every Shapian that they're all invited. You know what I mean?
No, I had to check real quick.
Definitely. Everybody would be invited. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I do have like an idea of like how I'm gonna ask her. And
hold on, she can't listen to this podcast then, dude.
She already knows. Like we pretty much already know we're gonna get married. Like it's just about what she wants me to drop the question now. Like, and I'm like, she's been wanting me to drop the question like last year. I always envisioned to be like fully financially there. I got so much with this business. I want it to be like fully functioning where it doesn't need me to run it. Like, so I could take a vacation, because right now, like my employee, he could take a vacation and get a bag. I can take a vacation and I'm not like, the business is me. So until I can build it up, I always envision to like that's when I'll get married. But she was like, "Yo, we could just get married at the court first, and then when we get the bag right, we can do a wedding because I know she wants a wedding. She's like a girly girl, you know what I mean? She wants to look all pretty and stuff. So I was like, all right, like, because I really want her to have a great wedding. Me, I don't care. Like, we could get married in the court. I'm cool. Like, so, but yeah, I thought about that. And when I thought about that, I'm like, all right, I think it's about time. We've been together for like 4 years, you know what I mean? So, been a long time. She's dealt with me for 4 years. She's got to be a special girl to do it.
For real. I mean, the fact that she's even helping you with your business and like trying to keep your head on straight and right with like the decisions you make, it says a lot about her. So she sounds amazing. Looking forward to meeting her one day.
Oh, you definitely got to meet her for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, but like she said too, you could get married at the courthouse and wait but what matters is you two. It's not, you know. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what she's trying to tell you, that, you know.
It's not all about the bells and whistles.
Yeah. She wants that, of course. And she knows you're both going to get it eventually, but she just wants to be with you. And that's really important, the fact that she said that to you, so.
And getting a house. I forgot to mention that. Like, I definitely want to get a house. I don't know if I'm sure you're planning on doing that too, you know. You probably already got a house.
No, I'm thinking tiny house right now because it's just me. Yeah. I don't need nobody else. So I'm thinking tiny house right now. My mom's got enough land for me to stick it over there for a minute until I find somewhere else to put it. So that's what I'm thinking.
That's what's up. Yeah, you'd be neighbors, but it'll be your house. That'll be what's up. Yeah, I know you guys are like, you know, this already. But I'm glad she's doing good too. I want to talk to her eventually.
Well, I mean, you can call me after. Y'all can have a conversation.
For sure. I think I have a session in 30 minutes. But
all right, friend. Well, it was great talking to you, dude.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm surprised we lasted an hour and some change. Like, that was...
I knew we were going to last that long.
That's a good distance.
So tell them where they can find you. You know, your Instagram, your YouTube, your all of it.
Hell yeah, you guys can find me. Well, if you guys are interested in any production, you know, all audio and visual needs, go to wavyent.net. WAVYENT.net. But if you're trying to connect with me, my Instagram is KIDD Ambition, Kid Ambition. Same with Facebook, same with TikTok. So Kid Ambition, and I appreciate you having me. Like, I'm honored to be your first guest too. You know what I mean? Hey. So we need to double back like 2 years later or a year later, and just keep double back to see where we're at in our next journey. Because I know you're gonna go far. You know I'm gonna go far, and it's gonna be inspiration for sure.
Sounds good to me. Once a year, sounds good to me. But everything's gonna be linked down below, all your connections and all your social media and stuff. So reach out if you need some music to get done. My boy right here. And he also makes some pretty funny Instagram and Facebook stuff too. So definitely go look him out.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you having me. I'll let you go.
Love you, bro. See you later.
Love you too, sis. Peace.
Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode on the Stories of a Dandelion podcast. And I will see you guys next Monday on Brat Mondays. Y'all have a great week.